Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you tuning in. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that typically I do video reviews on vaping related items, anything from juice to batteries to personal vaporizers. In case you missed the description on this video, it's not actually going to be a review. I've had several requests to do a tutorial on your basic Ego kit, putting it together, answering some troubleshooting questions, use, charging, things that maybe a brand new vapor who bought the kit online needs a little help putting it together, doesn't have anybody nearby that can answer these questions for him. Maybe you bought it at your local vape shop and you got home and just completely went brain dead on how to make some of the changes and some of the variations on the equipment. I have several Ego batteries myself. I do not have a complete Ego C kit. So the guys over at All About Vapor were generous enough to donate an Ego C kit to me to make this video. So please check out their website. You can find them on Facebook and Twitter. Send them, if you find this video helpful to you, send them a quick shout out. Say, hey, thanks for donating the kit. The video was helpful. Check out their website. They got a lot of really great juices, a lot of really great equipment over there. Super nice, super helpful. So I'm going to get right into the video. I don't want to try and make this thing ridiculously long, so I'm going to shoot through it as quick as possible. This video should help you out with any of your basic kits, Ego kits. Now if you've got the Ego Twist, if you've got a variable voltage Ego, if you've got the pass-through, of course now they have the Ego C upgrade battery. This video is really just going to be the basics of putting any of those kits together. I will have a separate video kind of on a tutorial of some of the individual batteries. I'll put those together in one video to help you out with some of the differences between those batteries and how to adjust them and use them properly. But as far as your basic putting it together and using it, this should get you started. Now if you have any questions, run into any problems that I don't get a chance to answer in this video, please leave a comment or send me a message. I'll do my best to answer those videos for you. So let's get a closer look at the kit.
Okay guys, so this is the Ego C kit. It's called the XL Carrying Case Kit. This one of course again came from All About Vapor, so if you got your kit from there, yours is going to look very similar to this. If you got the nice little carrying case with your kit, kudos. That doesn't really make a whole lot of difference when it comes to the actual equipment inside. This one came with all the instruction manuals, came with a nice little carrying pouch as well. We're going to set those aside because hopefully I'm going to cover everything that is in there a little more in depth on the video. So this particular kit comes with two complete Ego C batteries. These are 650 mAh batteries, along with the sleeve, the Ego C atomizer holder. You'll have 5 mouthpieces or cartridges, along with the USB dongle and a wall charger so that you can charge the batteries. So with the Ego C kit, the first time that you use it, what I would go ahead and do is take one of the batteries and go ahead and get it charging. And to charge it is pretty easy. You just take your USB cable out. The male and female portions of the charger and the battery just screw right in together. Okay, whenever you get it charging, your light here will turn red. Your light will flash 5 times on the actual battery to let you know it's charging. Now with this charger, you can plug this in directly into any USB port, be it a laptop, a computer. I happen to have a USB connection in my car, and it actually charges very nicely out of there. Your charge time, if you're using a USB connection, is going to be a little bit longer, maybe about 3 to 4 hours to get a full charge. If you use your wall adapter here, it'll be a little bit quicker, maybe about 2 hours to fully charge a battery. The only difference is that it's got your USB cable there, and you can just plug the USB cable into your wall charger and then plug this obviously directly into any wall socket. Again, charges a little bit quicker this way, but charges just fine if you just want to plug this into a USB cable. When it's fully charged, your light here will turn from red to green to let you know that it's fully charged. So once you have your battery charged up, the Ego C kit is going to have basically three different parts to this. You're going to have this portion here, which is what actually holds the atomizer and attaches it to the battery. And then you're going to have the cone portion of it that will slide on top of this once you have the atomizer in there, and that is what your cartridges are going to slide into to actually feed the juice to the atomizer. So the first thing you need to do when you get this kit is you need to actually get one of your atomizers out, and they come in a little 5-pack like this. They are interchangeable, doesn't matter which one you get. Just pop it out. It's a little kind of like a little blister pack, and you're going to notice like a little needle portion at the top, a little rubber O-ring on the bottom, and this simply seats just inside of the atomizer holder there. Now it's not going to snap into place or anything like that. It just kind of nicely snugly fits inside of it. Okay, once you have it in there, you can screw that portion into the battery, and then you take your cone and slide it on top and screw that together, and the atomizer battery portion is now together. Okay, so to turn this on the first time, this one's already on, so normally they come turned off. Okay, so we're going to turn it off real quick. All you have to do to turn it on is push your power button 5 times in quick succession. You'll notice the battery flash 3 times and you're hot and ready to go. Now to check that, all you got to do is push and hold the battery, and you can see the atomizer flash up inside of that and turn red. You know that you're good to go and ready to get your cartridge going. So let's switch over and take a look at the cartridges real quick, and we'll show you how to fill those up. Okay, so once you have the Ego put together and your atomizer put together, the next thing you need to do is fill your cartridge. So your cartridges are these guys right here, and of course yours may be a different color. I think they come in clear and blue, and these happen to be kind of the smoked color. And they have the little cap on them, and you'll see here at the end of it there is a little hole. Now some variations of these cartridges, this hole is not open and there's a little plastic piece across there. That's okay. That's kind of one of the older versions of the cartridges, and that's the reason that you have the needle on your atomizer inside of here, so that it'll pierce that when you put these together. All the mouthpieces, all the cartridges that I've gotten recently have all had the hole already open. So there's a couple of different things you can do there. The bottles that I get from All About Vapor with my juices have this nice skinny tip on them. So if you have this sort of tip on your juice and you already have an open hole on your cartridge, all you simply do is put the nozzle inside the cartridge and just squeeze the juice in. And you're going to fill it most of the way up, and you can kind of see the juice flowing in there, and when it gets close to the top, stop. Okay, and from here all you simply do is insert it into the cone and push it until you hear it click. And sometimes the first couple of times you use it, it can be kind of hard. Usually what I wind up doing the first couple of times is actually putting the mouthpiece down onto the desk or a table and pushing down on it, and you can hear it pop. Once you hear that pop, you know it's in there good. And just to check that, you want to make sure that you don't have any gap here in the cone where your mouthpiece is connected. Okay, and you just kind of run your finger over it and make sure you don't feel any kind of gap. If you leave a gap there, this will leak. Okay, it'll leak, and when you go to fire it the first couple of times, you're going to get a nasty metallic dry taste to it, and it's just absolutely no good. So once you have it together, you're ready to vape. We're still on and ready to go. So a couple of quick little things from at this point. Now if you don't have an Ego C and you have the older style, just what we refer to as a Type B atomizer, where the insides of this does not come apart on your cone, obviously you just skip the portion where we showed putting this together, and you can just put this directly onto the battery, fill the cartridge and just snap it together, and you're ready to go. If you have issues with any kind of leaking when you first put this together, a couple things to check is to make sure the cartridge is in there. If you do have the Ego-C, make sure that your atomizer is seated in there properly, and make sure that you have this screwed down together. Now, you may experience while you're vaping, if you notice it starting to get a little gurgly, if you're noticing juice come out into your mouth, again, check those same things. Occasionally, you may wind up having to pull your mouthpiece off. And if you've got a little bit of flooding in the atomizer itself, you simply need to blow through this end and blow some of the excess juice out. As a matter of maintenance, you probably want to do that anyways, maybe once a day, just to make sure that you're getting all the old juice out and it keeps your atomizers nice and fresh and working properly. And again, just take a tissue or a paper towel and just kind of put it on the base here and blow through the top on this end down to blow the juice, any excess juice out. Put it back together. Put the cartridge back in there, which you see this time it goes back together much easier, and vape it. Now, if you're still getting any leaking or juice going up into the mouthpiece, you may need to try a different mouthpiece here. Sometimes the hole can be a little bit too large and it's allowing too much juice to get down into the atomizer and flooding it out, and simply changing the mouthpiece with a different one, a different cartridge, will usually solve that issue. So let's talk about vaping it here real quick.
Okay, so if you've put everything together properly, you should be able to push your button here and it'll fire up, and you should be able to hear a little bit of a sizzling coming from the atomizer whenever you hit the button. When you vape it, it's, I say it's pretty self-explanatory, but again, we're going to go on the assumption that this is your first time. So the first time you use it, one thing you want to make sure that you do is push the button and hold the button down while you're inhaling, okay? The Egos and these style atomizers work best if you take nice, long, slow draws on the cartridge. You'll get the best flavor, the most vapor coming out of it that way. You do have a 15-second cutoff on the batteries with the Egos, so if you take too long of a draw, it'll cut off on you. Don't worry about it. It's a safety feature that's built into the battery. It's supposed to do that. So sometimes when I'm using my Ego batteries, I'll take kind of a little double hit and I'll wind up hitting that cutoff like this. And you'll see the battery started flashing on me, and that just means that I hit the cutoff. Now, if you want to get a little bit of a hotter draw, if you're not getting quite enough vapor, sometimes if you take a couple of quick little toots off of it before you take your longer draw, it kind of pre-warms up the atomizer. The only thing that I do whenever I'm trying to do that is let off of the battery in between, so that I don't hit the cutoff like this. And you'll see they work really well. Again, nice, long, slow draws on it is what works best on these. Now with these cartridges, you have, approximately 2 to 3 cigarettes worth of juice in there. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. It entirely depends on your usage of it. In general, if you're using it and all of a sudden the flavor starts going away, you're starting to get what we refer to as dry hits, which is where you're getting a little bit of a metallic taste to it. You're probably out of juice and you simply need to take the mouthpiece off, refill it, and put the cartridge back in, and you should be good to go. Now if it stops working altogether, you're not getting any draw off of it, make sure that the button, that the light is lighting up when you hit the button. You may be out of battery life. The other issue is these atomizers will wear out over time, which is why you get 5 of them. Again, how long the atomizer lasts is entirely dependent on your usage. I've had atomizers last anywhere from a couple of weeks to several months. It's just kind of random. If your battery is fully charged, you've got your juice on there properly, you've checked your atomizer to make sure you're making good connections inside of there, and it's still not working, try switching to a different atomizer and seeing if that helps. If you're still not getting anything as far as vapor out of your cartridge, out of the Ego, you may have a battery connection problem. If you've tried all of those and you're still not getting any vapor, switch over to my battery video, and we're going to talk about a couple of troubleshooting things that you can try in regards to the batteries themselves to make sure that you're making a good connection to your atomizer. So that is the basics of using and putting together an Ego kit. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is if you've got the nice little kit like this, I recommend putting the batteries in the kit when you're carrying it around. I tend to carry these in my pocket, so I always make sure before I put them in my pocket that I turn them off. And again, it's 5 quick clicks to turn it off, and you can see now I can push the button and the button's not lighting up. And just remember to turn it back on. 5 quick clicks to turn it back on, and you see now we're firing and ready to go. So hopefully this answered your questions as far as putting the kit together and getting started on your vaping experience. If this is your first time, I wish you all the luck in the world. There's a lot of good websites out there to help you out. Again, you know, if you have some questions, please hit me up with any questions or problems you may have. I'll do my best to answer them for you. You can always find me, of course, here on YouTube. I have my email address at the end of the video. You can also find me a lot of times on Vape TV, which is at www.vapetv.com. They have a lot of shows going on there. Of course, I've got their link right here to check out Vape TV. A lot of really good, really helpful people out there. And anything you can do to stop smoking analog cigarettes is great. The one thing I want to encourage you is if you don't stop smoking cigarettes altogether the first time you get these kits, don't be discouraged. Keep using it. Even if you're smoking less cigarettes, it's still better for you and it's still doing its job. It will take time to acclimate yourself to vaping, as close as it is to smoking a cigarette as you can get without smoking a cigarette. It's not a perfect replacement, and it takes time to adjust. Just don't get discouraged. Sometimes it's just a matter of finding a different battery, different atomizer. Sometimes it's just a matter of finding a flavor that you really, really like on these. Whatever you do, like I said, as long as you're even smoking less, it's helping you out. And you know, there's a huge community out here of people willing to answer any kind of questions or help you out as much as possible. So you know, please use all the resources available to you. If there's anything I can personally do to help you out, give you links to different forums or websites, you know, come hang out. And you know, again, there's a lot of people, a lot of really great people out there here to cheer you on. So I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for some of my other videos. Hopefully this helped you out. And again, give All About Vapor a great shout out for hooking me up with this kit and allowing me to make this video for you. Thanks a lot.